Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5 Takeaways, a show about Carolina basketball following the 68-59 victory of Virginia over the Tar Heels in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament in Greensboro. Hello, I missed the Duke game. I had some creative ideas about filming it in the complete darkness. That didn't materialize. Missed the Boston College game, but I'm here for this one. Potentially the last game of the season for North Carolina. Looks very unlikely that they will make the big NCAA tournament, field of 68. Who knows if they would accept an invitation to the NIT tournament. So this could be the last game video. I am going to do one season wrap-up review video, but this could be it. And I think in that wrap-up video, I'll talk more about the season as a whole. So we'll just try and focus on this game that was yesterday against Virginia. I mean, Virginia is who we know them to be. They slow the game down. They cut and run around. They're just a very well-coached team, a very good team. They just kind of have a bunch of dudes that look out for each other, and there's no star, and that's the way they like it. And then Carolina is the team that unfortunately they've shown themselves to be all year and for large parts of last year and the year before that. Now, I'm not going to say last year was a fluke or lucky any more than I'm going to say this year was unsurprising. Like, this team can be great, and it's just kind of live by the three, die by the three. But with that being said, Let's focus on last night. First box is going to be a green for RJ Davis. Probably would have been a blue if we had pulled out the victory. He just kept us in the game for so many parts of it. Clutch threes off the dribble with the shot clock winding down. Apparently he took the tape off of his fingers, and that seems to be the story of the season. In his stretches where he's been on fire shooting the ball, he's been healthy and he hasn't had the tape on his hand. And in the stretches where he's gotten a little colder, he's had the tape. I think he came out of it. And then the Syracuse game in the Carrier Dome, he got hurt again. Injuries, could be a theme of this entire season. Pete Nance in and out with them. Armando in and out with them. RJ playing through them definitely affected him. But as far as last night goes, green box for RJ. He was everything we could have asked for. I'm going to give a red box to Puff Johnson from last night. And the Boston College game, he was also off of his game. We saw flashes last year in the national championship game and the run to that game. That's the theme, right? We tried to bring last year into this year. And for whatever reason, he just didn't have it this year as we thought he could. And he definitely didn't have it last night. There was an instance where Carolina was down 4. There was time on the clock, but with how Virginia plays, it was pretty late in the game, maybe like 2.5 minutes to go. And he had a pretty wide open 3 that he just flat out missed, and that would have been huge. Virginia gets the rebound, goes down and scores, and that's literally the ball game. He had some hustle plays for sure, but just not the scoring threat we needed him to be. So a red
Puff.
This could be a red or a yellow for rebounding. I'm gonna make it a yellow, I think. Game time decision here. We weren't getting any offensive rebounds. That is the bad part. One chance coming down the court to score. If you don't score, that's it. Virginia gets the ball back. And against a team like Virginia, you have to score. You have to come down and make your possessions count. So if it's a one and done, that's just not helping you. Now, the reason I'll say it's a yellow is because some of the rebounds, both when we were shooting and when Virginia had some long threes, kind of just chucked them up after a good defensive possession from Carolina. That kind of just careened right to a Virginia player, and it wasn't like we didn't box out or we weren't in position. It was just an unlucky bounce. So yellow for rebounding. I'm going to say a red for transition, and honestly the coaching staff. Transition, I should say, offense, not transitioning to this coaching staff. I won't go there. Every time Virginia missed a shot, we needed to be down the court in 2 seconds max, and it would just kind of be Caleb would get the ball and kind of walk it up, and I don't know if they're being told that, if they have sets that they want to run, but but the offensive sets, the plays weren't working. We were so stagnant. In the first half, we would throw the ball back and forth and no one would move after they passed. And Virginia was getting steals, just like cutting off passing lanes and going down for layups. Like, I think if you let Virginia get set, especially with this Carolina basketball team that struggles so much offensively at times, like, it's just a recipe for disaster. So I was not happy that we didn't get the ball and just run. And even if you don't have numbers, right? Even if it's Caleb or RJ and it's 1-on-2, like, go in and, yeah, you might get blocked, but it might be out on them and then it'll be our ball and then we can do what we were going to do anyways. Or you might get fouled and get free throws, or who knows, you might get a layup and then it's points and it's less time off the clock and it's less time Virginia has to set up their defense. It's just like, very frustrating there. And then I'm going to end this video on a positive note. I'll say a green for fight. I'm trying to separate season defining themes with just analysis from last night. In the first half, like I was saying, with those turnovers and they went on like an 11-0 run, 13-0 run, it could have been curtains. You know, it really could have been. It was like 23-15. They had the ball. They had all the momentum. I could have very easily seen us never getting back in the game. We cut it to 1 by the halftime break. And then in the second half, we come out again. We have these periods all season where we just don't score, whether it's against a great defensive team like Virginia or just any team. We don't score. We're decent on defense. They might not be scoring every time, but they score sometimes, and we're not consistent enough offensively. In this case, coming out of halftime, Virginia scored every time they had the ball for like the first 6 or 7 possessions, and we did not. We let that lead balloon again, and then eventually I think we had cut it maybe to 2 in the final minutes of the second half. So, you know, for people that say they don't try, their body language is bad, blah, 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 like, I really don't think you can fault their effort. You could definitely critique the execution. I don't think you can fault their effort. I do think they want to win, and they were trying, and it was probably more painful in the end, but helpful in the moment to have that hope that, you know, they're not out of this yet. And I really don't think they were ever out of any game this year, except an NCAA tournament game. So we'll see how things go. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know, maybe I'll make a video after Selection Sunday if we get in. And if not, maybe I'll wait and do a longer season-ending video. It kind of goes over what I thought about this year and maybe take a look at some of my preseason predictions. But yeah, Carolina 59, Virginia 68, bow out of the ACC tournament. Probably needed 1 or 2 more wins over the course of the season to get us into the tournament as an at-large bid, and we just didn't get that this year. So, yeah, I mean, go Heels.